Hey guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to do to make a podcast on in place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
Hello and everybody and good morning to you on this Tuesday morning edition of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. I'm your host, Aaron L. Smith. Another day in America. What does that mean to you? So, we got a lot going on and a little time to talk about it, but we'll do the best we can like we always do. Quite chilly out here in the Northeast. But that's like every winter around this time. Um, so far, it's not too bad. It's a little bit above freezing. I don't think that's going to be the same tomorrow. And I gotta go out, but what the fuck, gotta get things done and just bundle up and hopefully I get me a nice shot after I'm done and be warmed up. But anyway. Like I said, plenty to talk about, plenty to discuss. We'll get through what we get through. So we're gonna go first start off. I had to do a little catching up as well. Haven't been really into the news as much. Obviously we know about the pandemic. That shit's still there. Omicron and whatever the fuck, all that other shit. Yeah, we get that. You know, now it's if you catch it. And instead of quarantine for 7 days, they want you to quarantine for 5 days and get tested and all this other shit. And now it's, eventually it's going to be 3 days. And then, it's going to be 1 day. Next thing you'll be like, oh, you know what? Just stay home for 12 hours and, just blow your nose and stick it up your ass or something. And then you'll be fine. But it'll be something like that next. But anyway, I'm fully vaccinated. So is my fiance and many of my family members. I think, like I said before in the last episode about dysfunction, which is also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Amazon Music, and wherever fine podcasts are. But like I said, I'm not into that anymore. Like I said, I have family that don't want to take it. I'm cool. They're my family. I love them to death. I'm not gonna excommunicate them. I'm not gonna not be around them. I'm still gonna, protect myself because I want to protect them as well. And that's that. So let's move on. We had one of the biggest defeats, I say, but it didn't seem like it was going to pass anyway. We're talking about the passing the voting rights bill in Congress, which was blocked, and it's no surprise. And that was like, we had Martin Luther King's Jr.'s birthday last week, and the bill was supposed to be, I guess a tribute to him, and as well as John Lewis, and all these great political black minds that fought and bled for everybody and all that stuff, not just people of color, but for everybody. And you got these two lug nuts, one's in Arizona and the other one's in West Virginia, who claim to be Democrats, and they basically just said, no, fuck all that. No, I'm not with that for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what it is. You basically saying you don't give a shit. So that's why a lot of people personally say fuck voting and fuck the politics, regardless of you're a Democrat or a Republican. And I can't say I blame them, but this is what it is. And that Voting Rights Act was in 1964. It wasn't a permanent act. It has expired and or will expire. I'm not too sure about that. You have Google, you have the internet, so you can research that. I don't want nobody coming back to fact check me. I don't want nobody coming and say, oh, you're wrong and all that stuff. That's fine. Just Google it. But anyway, it wasn't going to pass. It wasn't trying to pass. And, now Democrats got egg on their face, because there's a lot of things that they want to push through that they're not going to push through because you got these Judas pretty much on their side that basically are not with it. And that's Kristen Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Like I said, I don't like arguing politics. I don't really, like I said, I just think it's bullshit. It's just kind of like sports teams too. If I'm a Mets fan and I have people in my family are Yankee fans and we bicker and we bitch and all the time. And I've said this before, and being a New York Knicks fan, this time last year they were doing fucking awesome, and now they're playing barely 500 ball. So to argue about stuff like that, it's cute for a little bit, but every once in a while it kind of gets a little ugly. Kind of like politics, it gets ugly because people are really deep rooted and their hearts are really, into it, and there's all this conviction and all this, oh, you're wrong, and oh, I'm right, and there's never a lot of common ground. There's not a lot of meet in the middle stuff, and the former president, he who should not be named, kind of just let that out a little bit more because people always had that, but since he put it to the the front page and it was pretty much out there and just said what he had to say, everybody's feeling they could say what they want to say too, and most people get in trouble for it. I mean, look at January 6th. So I can say I don't have much faith in the Democrats and President Joe Biden, but it's a lot better than what we had, personally. But whatever the fuck, I just don't think, they got the midterms coming up, and they're in trouble. They're in deep shit, and they need to get it together before November because, if that comes their time, when they go and they go ahead and they get back Congress, and that overgrown Oompa Loompa is trying to get back in there and trying to be president again. And it may just happen. And it's very scary and it's very dangerous. But, who knows? I personally think that being as Joe Biden pretty much looks like the Crypt Keeper now. What is he, like 75, 76? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, Google that too. I think they need to get Kamala ready just in case because, you never know. And I'm not too fond of her either. And I remember a conversation I had with my father before the election, and we were going back and forth and, Trump this, Trump that. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, look. Oh, I said his name. Oh, he shall not be named. Oh, never mind. But anyway. What the fuck? Yeah, that guy, Trump. Pretty much, we're all from New York and we know how he was and he never changed. He just got older and, dumber and he became president. Whatever. But we don't want that to happen again. I know there's a lot of people that do, but, a lot of myself and people that are close and dear to me don't want that. So that's all that matters to me. And, yeah. But I'm from New York City, as you guys know, and we got a new mayor. And he hasn't been in there a month, and he already shit the bed. Eric Adams. I'm sorry, Mayor Eric Adams. Yeah, that guy. Um, so it's been an interesting, I guess, couple of weeks because, like I said, he just got inaugurated on the 1st, and like I said, he already made a mess of himself. And the first thing that happened was that he basically tried to give his brother a job. Not a big deal, not a big problem. You know, you're always gonna look out for family and all that, but you can't give somebody a high-ranking job. You know, I mean, not if you have an all-year tan and it happens to not be orange. But anyway, he did that, and he had to like be like, okay, bro, can't do that and whatnot. But I remember watching a TV on the news, or was it an article I read? I don't remember. Not important. But apparently, he was riding the subway, the New York City subway, and he saw someone getting assaulted outside of the train station. I guess it wasn't because here in New York we have a lot of outside train stations, and he was with a security detail. And instead of, I guess, them breaking it up or him doing whatever probably the best thing to do was to have his security team maybe intervene or whatnot. He basically called the police. And yeah, they came. I mean, okay, I guess I understand that. That's probably the best thing, but you know, you're the fucking mayor. You mean you could have did a little bit better than that. But like I said, this guy is weird. He's like a vegan. He has this weird, like, strict, like, no meat diet. He's got this goofy look on his face. He has this crooked smile. I wouldn't trust him personally. Um, as many may know, he was a former police captain. He was a former borough president of Brooklyn here in New York City. But now he's the mayor, and I personally don't think he's going to be a second termer. I think he'll only just have one. That's just my prediction. I hope and wish him luck, but he's having a rough start. He basically was on a train talking about how he doesn't feel safe. Well, no shit. I ride the trains and I don't feel fucking safe. And I'm the most ornery person I know. You got a lot of homeless people on the trains. You got a lot of mentally ill people who are homeless on the trains. And it's unfortunate and it's sad that they don't get the help that they need or they don't deserve. But on the other hand, if you are offered the help and you don't want to do it, then, well, what the fuck? You know, what do you do with these people? How do you handle these people? You already had one person kill somebody on a train. Some goof pushed some poor Asian lady off the train, and now she's no longer here. So you get a lot of these. I say to myself, I get worried when, my fiance is on a train by herself with all these lug nuts, and these idiots who basically do this stuff. Like I go to Queens because I live in Queens, and I basically ride the E train, and it's just crazy. It's just like you got people smoking weed on a train. I'm a weed head, but I don't do that in public. I go home. I have a setup. When I smoke and I feeling nice, I'm feeling good, I go to fuck to sleep. But if you want to smoke outside, fine. That's cool. But not on a damn train. I mean, come on. That's not only disrespectful, it's fucking wrong, fucking rude. Because a lot of people that don't like weed. Even though it's legal and all that other stuff, you got to be respectable. You got to be, don't do that. Because that looks bad on all of us nice weed smokers out there. But anyway, like I said, New York is full of scumbags and puss buckets and just a bunch of idiots who pretty much just don't give a damn about themselves. It's not just those people. It's just basically people, the same ones. There's other people that just basically just don't want to get this over with, don't want to mask up, don't want to do anything, want to cover up, whatever, stuff like that. I mean, you figure it's winter, you at least put a scarf around your fucking mouth. but whatever. So you won't catch cold. Nonetheless, Corona, let's catch the cold, but whatever. Um, my own favorite quote of one of my great movies of all time with the great actor Tom Hanks. He was Forrest Gump in 1995. Stupid is and stupid does. That's a favorite quote in that movie. And people from 2019 to now, when this first virus started, is living proof of that. But anyway, let's go back to what I was talking about with the people on the trains and the mayor. He basically wants to have more resources. He wants to basically, help these people with counseling, housing, all that stuff. I'm all for that. But my thing I'm saying is this. If they don't want it, then what you going to do? You can't lock them up. You can't do this. He's going to have to figure something out. You can't just up and just do them. But, well, like I said, I want to leave. My fiance and I have talked about leaving, but it's kind of tight right now. Kind of got to save money, and everything's fucking expensive. So I just hope for the best and just do what we can and continue do what we've been doing, living in Queens and in the city. So anyway, so as far as Mayor Adams is concerned, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a shot because, like I said, he just got there. But I don't trust him. As many people know, I'm not very fond of the police. I'm not a fan of the police. I've always had bad incidents with them, bad experience, if you will. So I'm not really a fan. But what I'm also not a fan of his is that he's bringing back, he's thinking about bringing back stop and frisk, which is a controversial tactic by the police to basically target black and brown people in New York City. I personally was stopped and frisked plenty of times. I was stopped and frisked going into my own great-grandmother's house, God rest her soul, many years ago. And I'm just not with it. And like I said, and that can cause a lot of unwanted, unnecessary BS. And being that cops don't give a damn anyway, and most of them don't give a shit anyway, and they want to follow the rules, and they're the ones who are the ones that have set the example. Another group of people that don't want to wear masks, don't want to do what this says. Like I said, if you don't want to get a shot, fine, but at least cover your mouth. But whatever, you don't want to do that, more power to you. Like I said in the last show, stay the fuck away from me. Stay the fuck away from people I know, and that's that. But he wants to bring back on the covers on the train, and like I said, outside in the city. That may or may not work, because like I said, a lot of cops target the wrong people, and the ones that are actually doing the shit end up getting in the way. Well, like I said, he's only been in there a couple of weeks. Let's see. I don't know. Well, whatever the fuck. Personally, it doesn't look good for him. So he got this other thing of him. I talk a lot about this prick. I guess he kind of reminds me of one. But like I said, I'll give him a shot. It's like, how you give him a shot, but you calling him a prick? It's because I can. Get over it. So anyway, he basically was involved in a pact, because when you run for a public office, they have these things called PACs, pacts. Basically, they raise money for their campaign and all that other shit. Again, Google it. So apparently, this reverend that he knows apparently is involved with a New Jersey real estate developer in the nightclubs. Again, like I said, this guy is very weird. He does this vegan stuff. He likes to live the nightlife and all that other stuff and all that. You got a day job now, bro. You can't do all that. So anyway, so apparently there's a lot of money involved, a lot of things going on. Like I said, so no, I think he probably pissed off the wrong people off the jump, and they're out to get him. So he needs to be very careful. And that person in Jersey needs to stay where he is. And that reverend probably should just stay and just, Bible thump as he is. So that's that. But again, like I said, we'll see. It's out the gate, a lot of stuff going on, and as like I said, there are people who are for cops and there are people who are not for cops. As like I said, I'm not for cops, but I will say this: there was a tragedy out there in the city in Manhattan where 2 cops were called on a domestic violence incident where an elderly mother or a disabled mother, I'm not too sure, was having issues with her son. She called the police. They intervened, and one of them was shot and killed. Actually, both were shot, but one is no longer with us. The other one's in critical condition. Now, me personally, I'm not with killing and shooting cops and all that stuff. They have a tough job and all that stuff. They know the risks, and they know not that they may not come home, but that leads to cops going after people of black and brown color because they feel some type of way about this person killing this cop, and it's going to go back and forth tit for tat, and it's going to be the fucking 90s all over again. And we don't want to go back to that. Everybody totes Giuliani as one of the greatest mayors of all time. Mayor McCheese was a better mayor than he was. But anyway, he was the mainstay of police brutality and killings. Amadou Diallo, Admiral Louima, the list goes on and on. Sean Bell, the list goes on and on. We don't want to go back to that. But now we have a former cop who is the mayor. So I don't know. I just don't know. But we'll see. We'll give vegan nightlife a chance. That's going to be his nickname from me. Eric Adams. I'm calling him Vegan Nightlife because he likes to eat no meat and he likes to light knife. He likes to boogie, as that old song says. So we're gonna get off of that. Gonna close the show out, and I gotta show myself, and it's a funny story because I stopped doing stand-up about 3 years ago because I was sick and tired of the bullshit and the nonsense and the, like I said, everything's political, everything is, very cutthroat, very deep. I recently did an interview with, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I know she's probably going to hear this, but Eurydice Roman of Roman Epic Productions. She does TV on public access. She does BronxNet. She does MNN. She's very highly into the autism community. Her son is autistic. I met him. He's a great guy, great young man. She's a very wonderful person for doing all of that. So I interviewed with her, and I told her about the comic business, and you should check that out. It should be coming out soon, and probably within the next month or so. As soon as I get that information, I will definitely put that on the next podcast whenever it's available to me. But shout out to Eurydice Roman and her son. God bless you. So back to me. I have 2 shows Friday night. 4063 Boston Road in the Bronx, Boogie Down. And we got the Try-On open mic. And basically, it's 5 minutes. You can get on stage, you can shoot some jokes, and you can go about your business and have a good old time. Or you can stay, you can have a good old time. And we got another show, which I call the Funny Underground Comedy Crew One Night Stand. The reason why it's a one night stand because it's a one-off. Like I said, I wanted to do this because I had to get this out of my system, and I wanted it to be like a send-off, or I guess like a one-off, if you will, because, like I said, I quit 3 years ago because I was just tired, and there was a lot going on in my life. It still is, but it's a lot way better than it was 3 years ago. I give it that. And comedy was supposed to be a distraction. Comedy was supposed to be a thing for me, to an outlet. I've always loved comedy. I've been a fan of it since I was 5 years old. It's something I always wanted to aspire to be and do. But my friends who are in comedy have warned me. They was like, it's bad. It's a lot worse than it was. The pandemic makes it worse. It's hard to get people to come to shows. It's hard to do a show. But I said, whatever the fuck, let's just get it over with. Let's just do it. Let's have some fun with it, even if that, it's not a successful show. It'll be a good show. Because I always have good shows, regardless if it's not famous. I'm not famous or anything. I probably never will be, but I'm not worried about that. It'll be a good show, because I always have good shows. So I'm going to promote this with a friend of mine. Shout out to Chris Vaxarelli. If I butchered your name too, I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. You know that. We're going to do a show out there in the Bronx. 2 shows. Like I said, open mic, 6 p.m. a.m. Oh, shoot. I don't even be up at 6 a.m. But anyway, 6 p.m. Try on open mic. We're going to do sign-ups starting, I guess, around 6:30. I'm hoping to get the show done I'll get it started around 7:30, hopefully. I have the space till about 11, so that should be fun. I don't do the main show, the Funny Underground Comedy Crew. As many may know, that was my comedy show's name, and it's one night stand. So we're gonna try to get that started around 8, maybe 8:30, the latest. And I got my friends coming, I got my family coming. It should be a good time. Shout out to David Slims Glover for the spot. Appreciate him. I had known him for a long time, for years. He's a good guy, great guy. I've been in him and doing podcasts with him. I actually did podcasts with him years ago down over there at Water Street when he had Flow Empire Radio. So shout out to Slims. Will be good to see him again as well. So it's a Friday night, and if you're in town or if you're in the area, come check us out. 4063 Boston Road. Funny Underground Comedy Crew. We got the Try On open mics starting at 7 o'clock, 7:30 the latest. Funny Underground Comedy Crew, one night stand, 8:30-ish time. But I'm going to be there, and all my friends are going to be there, and all my people's going to be there. So it's going to be a good time regardless of not. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all those comedians that are in the struggle and are still doing this shit. I don't know why. I know you're convicted and you're really into it, but more power to you. Even to the people who choose not to deal with me, I wish you well, because you have to be the better person. You have to be the, I guess, nicer person, if you will, because, it doesn't take much to be negative, because there's no reason to be, because it only is going to eat at you, and it's only going to fuck with you, because these people don't give a shit anyway. So more power to you guys as well. People that like me, people that don't like me, I don't give a shit. I like the people that do give a shit about me, but the ones that I don't really give a shit. But God bless you anyway. So shout out to everybody. So I always, like I said, you can catch me on Instagram at The Aaron Smith, Twitter at The Aaron Smith, Facebook, Aaron L. Smith, and as always on this podcast, The Aaron Smith Can't Lose podcast. on Anchor, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and wherever fine podcasts are sold and bought or for free. So, until next time, people, this is Aaron L. Smith, and like I always say, I can't lose. Peace.